The letter my grandpa wrote to me 40 years before I was born. He never thought a single piece of paper could destroy everything I believed about my family. It started the day I was cleaning out my mom's old storage box in the garage. I was just looking for old photos, but I found a sealed envelope with my name on it. The strange part was that it was dated 40 years before I was even born. My hand started shaking because the handwriting was not my mom's and not my dad's. It was signed by my grandfather, who died before I was ever born. I grew up hearing stories that my grandfather was a quiet, kind man who loved his family deeply. My mum always said he left behind nothing but memories and a few old tools in the shed. My dad barely talked about him and always changed the subject whenever I asked questions. He never questioned it, because that is just how families are sometimes. But that letter changed everything. Inside the envelope was a warning, like it was meant for someone who had not even been born yet. It talked about secrets in our family that should never be spoken out loud. It said that not everything I would be told about my aunts would be true. It said that one day I would find the truth hidden in plain sight. It thought it was some kind of sick joke at first, but then it noticed something even worse. The letter mentioned my exact birthday. It described events in my life before they ever happened. It even described the house I grew up in. I started digging deeper that night. I went through old boxes, old files, and anything I could find about my grandfather. My mom got nervous when she saw me searching and told me to stop. She said I was digging up things that should stay buried. That only made me more curious. The next day I went to my uncle's house without telling anyone. He looked scared when I showed him the letter. He tried to take it from me, but I backed away. That is when he finally admitted something I was never supposed to hear. My grandfather did not die. The way I was told, he was cut off from the family after trying to expose a huge lie about my palea that involved money, identity, and someone else raising a child that was not originally theirs. My whole body went cold because everything suddenly started to make sense in a painful way. I went back home and confronted my mom and dad together. At first they denied everything and called the letter fake, but when I mentioned details only my grandfather could know, my mom broke down crying. My just sat there resolute, unable to look at me. The truth finally came out. My grandfather had tried to protect me before I was even born. He wrote that letter knowing he might not be around. When I finally discovered it, he wanted me to know that I was not living a lie, but I was living inside one. In the end, my parents were exposed in front of the whole family. Trust was broken and nothing felt the same again. Ike pitied the letter because it was the only honest thing I had ever been given about my past. Sometimes I still wonder how someone can protect a future they will never see. What's the first question you'd ask after reading that letter?